Webmerized, Red Hill Brewing, and our new sponsor, Crave Bath and Body. Without you guys, this episode would not be possible. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, while you, the listener, are invited on the front porch, grab a beverage, and set a spell. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me introduce you to our starting lineup. Running on the field, tying on their shoes, hopefully not at the same time. Running the video, which we are now on 1080p. We are in high def, thanks to this man, Magic Man, running the video and the chat. What up, Magic Man?
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
And, of course, we have our illustrious producer, which is Producer Brian. How you doing?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And I be biggin'.
Woohoo!
How about you?
That's right.
As I said before, we have a great show. Producer Brian, where can all of our folks find us on the socials and on the interwebs?
We are on the interwebs at facebook.com/Southern Fried Philosophy, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at SFP Radio. You can always email the show at sfpradio@gmail.com. We're on YouTube eventually. And Patreon, if you want to support the show, go patreon.com/SFP Radio. We also have a website. southernfriedphilosophy.com or sfpradio.com will also get you there. And we are streaming on the iHeartRadio, Spotify, and TuneIn apps.
Anywhere your podcasts are sold, you can find us there. I had somebody today, where can we find you? Well, anywhere. Do you listen to a podcast? That's where you can find us. It's very simple, these days. You just put it in one place and boom, it goes everywhere. We would appreciate if our listeners would go out to YouTube, find us, just search SFP Radio, and then click the subscribe button up here and down there and the comment section. That would be great. That way we can boost our thing. So then we could say, go to youtube.com/SFP Radio. Until we get 100 subscribers, we will not get that. I know there's more than 100 of you watching and listening. So please just go over there, do that one thing for us. It won't kill you. Turn off the notifications and you'll never even see it. So we would appreciate that. Hey, if you are staying at home and you have a video or YouTube or a podcast or FaceTime or what's that? Friends only or what was
Friends
that?
Only, only farmers.
Fans only.
That one,
farmers only, fans only, whatever that is. If you have one of those and you need it edited, then contact producer Brian. Email him at headlines@sfpradio.com. If it's an OnlyFans, I'm sure he's got to run that through the wife just to make sure it's legit and he could edit that one. Otherwise, he's good to go.
Right.
If you would like to be a show sponsor, email me at sfpradio@gmail.com and it'll get there. We want to say shout out to our listeners from Quanta Roo, Mexico. How about Mexico?
Hey.
¿Qué tal, amigos? ¿Qué pasa?
What?
Also broadcast in Spanish. There you go.
Yeah, let's click that
Just that
SAP
one
button.
Yeah, Ryan's going to go through and do a extra dialogue in Spanish for everybody after the show.
Yeah.
So that's his new contribution.
And what they don't know is that's basically all I know in Spanish. No, I know a little bit.
You remember, Producer Brian, I think you'll remember. I don't know, Ryan, if you will. Do you guys remember the scene in The Goonies where Mouth is trying to talk to the housekeeper in Spanish, but it translates from Mrs. Walsh to the housekeeper, and he totally jacks it up. And he's on purpose. He's saying, like, I'm going to lock you in the closet if you don't do a good job with all the cucarachas.
I do remember that, yes.
That was funny. Love that movie so much.
So good.
We're going to be talking about some of our favorite movies as a child later in the show, but man, that was such a good one. I'm going to ask you, like I ask you guys every week, how you be doing? Magic Man, how you be doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Actually, today we had some exciting things happen.
All right, tell us about it.
Everybody has heard that the show is being sponsored by Crave Bath and Body, and we finally got our website up and running today. It's been a very long and arduous process. And what was funny is we went through and it's not webmerized.
Let's be clear.
Yeah,
if you would have gone through webmerize, this would have been done 4 months ago.
That's right. So we hired a web designer or whatever company, and this process started actually in early March, and they had everything they needed to build the site starting in April, and it was just one delay after another. My wife had to keep sending stuff to them over and over and over again, and so last week I was like, enough. So I went on to one of the web template authoring tools they have online, and in a week my wife and I were able to come up with a fairly professional looking website, and so we launched that this morning, and so if anybody wants to go take a look, it's cravebb.com. So that's crave and then B as in boy, 2 B's, cravebb.com, and check us out. It's all kinds of bath type products, so like soaps and bath bombs and body butters. She makes shower steamers, pretty much anything that deals with cleaning the skin and taking care of it, as well as hair, because we make shampoo and conditioner as well. It's out there, so check us out.
And there's beard oil as well.
Beard oil, yes. Uh-huh.
Yep. And we'll have that in our show notes. Also, like, I'm usually just like whatever my wife brings home. Like, I don't care about soap, like whatever. And so I did get some of this soap for Christmas, and my wife got like the 4, the monster pack of soap bars. So I was like, when I run out of this, I'll use your bar. And, especially working from home, I don't take a shower every day. So it took quite a while to get through that thing of soap. So finally I get to it, and I was like, all right, let's try this sucker out. And I was like, is this going to be soap? Whatever. But quite honestly, I'm very impressed with it. It's really awesome. It got me all soapy and lathery. And now I'm like, now I want to try this shower steamer. I want to know what that's about. It smells great. My wife likes the smell. So that's always a plus. So I'm excited to try the other products, but I was hesitant, to be completely honest, but honestly, it's good stuff.
Well, we'll bring you some samples and let you try it out. But yeah, it's good, and it's real soap. So I'm sure people have seen the Dr. Squatch advertisements about, saying soaps are detergent, etc. And it's true. The stuff you buy at the store, it's basically detergents and not perfume, but I forgot what it's called. But anyways, what Lori uses is, Lori's my wife. She uses, it's real soap. So it's real natural ingredients. And she uses like essential oils for the scents. So that way they last longer. So like you said, you've had that bar of soap since Christmas time, and you can still smell the smell of it. Mm-hmm. And that's because it's not made of a bunch of detergents and stuff. So yeah, it's good stuff. And yes, I'm biased, but I know it's good stuff. I've had people tell me.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I'm excited to try more of it. So we'll definitely push that. And any of our listeners that want to go check it out, again, cravebb.com. We'd appreciate you guys doing that. Producer Brian, how you doing?
Well, I'm fantastic. So past weekend was Father's Day.
Yeah.
And as you do, I made myself a brisket. Because, no one else is going to do that,
yourself.
Right? Yeah, I made me. It was for me and my dad. So did a whole packer. But the reason I'm doing so great is because I've had brisket 4 out of 5 days in a row. Like
oh wow!
So, yeah, it's been slowly running out. I just been making sandwiches. Just brisket sandwiches. It's been really good.
I noticed, Ryan, he did not ask us for any of this brisket. He just said, "I'll just eat it all."
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah.
How much? What's a normal price per pound for brisket?
Depends on where you get it. So I decided to go to a fancier place to get my brisket this time. So I paid a fancier price.
Okay.
It was just over $6 a pound.
Okay.
Which is a little high.
Wow.
I mean, compared to I think Sam's, I was looking at they had prime briskets for $4.50 a pound.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Price. But I was like, well, maybe if I go to this nicer place, I'll get a nicer piece of meat. I'm not sure that was the case, but it was okay. It wasn't as good as it could have been. There was the fattiest thing I've ever seen in a bad way.
Have you seen me? I'm just saying. That's disappointing. I was really hoping that place would be good.
It wasn't. Yeah. Well, and it could be, you know, if me and you've talked about this, every piece of meat's different. Like they're just different. Every animal's different. The way they're made is different, or the way they made's the wrong word, but the way they're grown.
Right.
Yeah. The way they're however you make a piece of meat, that's they're all different. Every animal's different. So there's different characteristics, but this one had just a lot of fat and maybe over trimming. So it wasn't as moist as it could have been, or juicy, whatever. What word am I supposed to use here? Because moist is a trigger word, right?
That's a bad word.
Is it? Okay. So I won't say moist anymore.
I like moisture. I'm okay with moisture, but I don't like the word moist.
That's
like
juicy. But it wasn't bad. It was good. It was good. It wasn't like the best I've ever made. It's probably the third best I've ever made of the 3 briskets I've made. So, you know.
I was going to ask how many have you made?
Yeah.
I asked Father Tommy. You remember on the show? He was the whiskey priest. I asked him. He showed me a picture of the 17-pound brisket that he's going to make tonight, and he said it was $3.49 a pound. So I didn't know if that was. He said that was a really good price. So
what's the grade on that? That's a great price because
I have no idea the grade.
Like the Sam's is the only one I really looked at. It was like right at $4 a pound for choice, and $4.50 for prime.
Okay.
It's more marbling. It's a tastier.
Okay. So you want to go for the prime?
Prime. I mean, if you want to pay for it, it's just better meat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, my Father's Day, I'm good. Thank you for asking. My Father's Day was given to me a week early. My wife said, I'm taking a small batch and we are going to the beach for a week. And you have the run of the house, so you get to do whatever you want. We're leaving on Saturday. We're coming back on Saturday or Sunday. I'm sorry. We're going to come back on Sunday, and things are going to be great. You do whatever you want. 10-4, got it. And I know how this usually runs. When we get when I get a long weekend, I'm really excited about it. Like, this is dad time. I get to do whatever I want. Golden Grams, chocolate milk for dinner. Sure, why not? So, yep, it was perfect. But I know how this works. I say, I'm going to love every second of it. Probably by 48 hours later, I'm like, the house is too quiet. I can't sleep well. It doesn't make, I'm out of my routine. It's horrible. But this one was a little different. It is Father's Day weekend. I was going to splurge. A grill came available that I was been looking for a while. Producer Brian got his truck. We went up to go get it. While we were going to get there, I get a call from my wife saying, hey, and this was Saturday, so they're supposed to come home the next day. It was Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
It was Friday. It was Friday because I had that day off. Sorry. So they're supposed to come home Sunday. So I thought I had a whole extra day to get all this stuff done. So she calls me while we're going to get the grill and says, hey, I'm coming home early. I'm tired. Plus I stepped on a bee and now and she had to walk like half a mile back. It was just miserable. So she's like, we're just packing up. We're coming home. So I'm going to get this grill. We get the grill. I get back home and I'm like, I've got to get this thing put together before Small Batch gets home because it'll be nuts. So I call my dad over. I'm like, just hand me parts. I'm trying to fly, get this thing done. It took me about 4 hours to get this grill completed. And I'm just like hauling. And then we get it all set up. Now I've got to do laundry. I've got to clean the house. I've got to put the sheets on the bed, all this stuff. And then it turns out that she went with her aunt. They were staying over. So I got to clean those sheets, clean the house. It was the most hectic, probably 8 hours that I've had. Oh. It was so rough.
Yikes.
Wow. And so Father's Day, I'm just like, I just want to sleep, man. I'm exhausted at this point. And then she comes back and she's exhausted. So we're both like looking at each other like, I'm so tired. So
you're missing the punchline there is we didn't drop the grill off at your house till like 3:30 or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was late in the afternoon. and then you worked for 8 hours.
Yeah. They got home, I think, around 12. So I was hauling butt since then. And that grill, by the way, is heavy.
Yeah.
It took
like
a
cast iron or something. The whole thing is cast iron. It was
just about. Yeah. If you guys are wondering, it's a Masterbuilt Gravity Series 800. And I'm trying my first cook on it this Saturday. So I'm very excited about it.
Excellent.
I'm sure we'll talk about it next week.
Good.
So we'll see how that goes.
And speaking of trucks,
it was a great week.
Speaking of trucks,
did
somebody get a truck?
Oh, well.
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe. So I'm not going to name names or anything, but I picked up a truck from a friend. I'll just say from a friend. And I've been waiting for this truck for quite a while. And I get the truck and I go to get it inspected, and it won't pass inspection because the check engine light mysteriously turned on while I was taking it to go get checked. And then they're like, well, go drive it around a little bit. I'm like, all right. So I drove it around a little bit. They said, maybe that'll clear it out or whatever. Okay. And then while I'm driving around, I realized the AC is not working anymore. I'm like, crap. So then the tire monitoring system thing, the light came on for that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So, I mean, I'm grateful and I'm thankful, but I have to go take it to Charlie's to have them look at it and fix it and everything else. So maybe the answer to that question is maybe. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, so our Southern phrase of the week is quesadilla. Say yourself, I know what a quesadilla is.
Yeah.
Little Mexican
tortilla, cheese, chicken,
meat,
brisket, whatever, right?
You would think so, but not here in the South. Not here in the South. Oh, no. You say quesadilla, let me use it in a phrase. Better turn on them lights. Quesadilla runs out in front of us.
That's appropriate for this past Sunday being Father's Day. That's a nice dad joke.
Dad jokes. All right. So we do not have a guest for tonight. So if you are looking for one and just wanted a guest, you can turn it off because we do not have one. But we have plenty of things to talk about. Here's our topics for tonight. Redneck Rave. We have a mountain eagle that has got so much gold to it. I had to limit the things that are on there. Oh, wow. The kindness by state, thigh stop instead of wing stop, Subway tuna, and Indiana Jones 5 is delayed. Gentlemen, where do we want to start on this one? Is anybody in the chat?
The only person who's speaking is Lee Short. He says he's found a way to ship barbecue to us.
Okay.
Yeah, he says give him a few weeks and he'll send some pulled pork.
All right. So here's the deal from Lee. As soon as the show was over last week, he called me out saying that I didn't call him back. So as soon as the show over, he called me and he had to apologize because I did call him back. And then he was so sad that, Producer Brian, you had a horrible barbecue experience. He's like, I'm going to find a way to ship good barbecue to you. And so that's what he's working on now.
To be clear, I've had lots of great barbecue.
Right. Yeah.
Just not in South Carolina.
Right. So maybe we'll just take the barbecue, go down to South Carolina, and then you can eat it there.
Trip. That's what I call it. A mission trip.
That's a good way to put it.
All right. Where do we want to start tonight? Oh, we also have human organic composting that we didn't get to last week.
Yeah, might as well start there for now.
Yeah.
Start at the top?
Yeah, we can only go up from there, right?
Literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Oregon is the third state in the U.S. legalizing human composting. You say, what is human composting? Is where they take the body, they take it to a human compost facility, and you can turn yourself into basically soil for 4 to 6 weeks. You can take said soil and you can take that home with you and you can plant a tree, with you. You can plant some flowers with you. They can do whatever they want. This is the only the second facility in that state that allows that, but only takes 4 to 6 weeks, and you can become soil. They say that it's a, organic way to give back. You have less fuel to use if you cremate yourself. So it's kind of being pushed as the, eco-friendly, way to go out.
So this composting machine, what's it run on?
That's a good
Diesel?
question.
Is it
probably? Yeah, probably.
Is it solar powered?
But you think
hand
about
crank. I mean, what
how much it takes to light that crematorium up. I mean, there's that.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just wondering how green we're getting here.
Sure, but it's like the people that are convinced that electric vehicles are good for the environment when they are actually worse for you than the.
Yeah, does this have a Tesla battery on it? Is that how they run it?
Yeah, it doesn't say how eco-friendly it is, but they can turn you into soil.
Only on the left coast.
Okay, so this is the third state.
The third state.
So what are the other two? Do we know what the other two are?
Ooh,
California and Washington.
Might be.
That's very likely.
I do not know. Washington is one. Yep. And California, I believe, is the other one, but I do not see it.
I mean, that's a weird. I mean, maybe it's growing up as in the South, even like cremation seemed like growing up Baptist, they can make let's say, cremation's like against the stuff in the Bible or something. There's ways to argue that, I guess. So
yeah,
what's the next? Is this better than that, or from I don't even know how to phrase my question, but it's morally, spiritually, whatever,
I would think it'd probably be about the same as cremation, right? Because you're just going back to the dirt. But I mean, I don't understand the argument of, and maybe I'm just naive, but like, why not do the cremation? And you're right. Like in the South, that's kind of viewed as kind of apropos,
my dad made the argument to me one
just
time, and I was just like, that doesn't make sense to me. But
well, what happened to good old fashioned burial?
Like to be good.
I was gonna say, what happened to good old fashioned burying? I mean, you can. That seems like the most eco friendly. I mean, you just get put in the ground, you decompose.
Well, the box kind of prevents a lot of that, though. You don't go anywhere.
Well, but they not only that, but they put it in like a cement seal, which I don't understand that either. So that's got to break down. Then the box why? Like, what's the point of this? I don't.
All that fancy stuff, just put me in a paper bag.
Right.
Bury me out back, right?
Yeah. That would be much easier. And at some point, you would think that if we're doing all this cement sealing stuff, at some point we're going to run out of room, right? Because that's not going to break down for a long time. Mm-hmm. I can almost see the case that I'd like to be cremated. And here's the reason why. Because when I was a young boy, I saw the show Voltron. And if you'll remember Voltron, it was 5 different cats, but then they came together as one to form one giant one. Here's my thing. I think my God is big enough to take care of my new body when I come back, that it would be like Voltron, that I'm scattered across the world, and then I would just come back and be super JT.
That's the argument. That was it. That's like, if you're like destroying the body, Jesus comes back or whatever. Does the ashes get reformed? Blah, 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 all that stuff. The new heaven on earth, all that, that's that. I think that's the religious.
You're going to miss the boat because God's not big enough for that.
I think, yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah.
That's bad theology. Yeah. I mean, to each his own. If you want to do whatever you want, I'm just asking you, would you guys go for the soil compost? Would you be that?
No, not really. I mean,
yeah.
I'd rather. I like the idea of having like ashes scattered somewhere.
Right.
I don't really. Yeah. I'm not really a vegetable guy, so I don't want to grow your cucumbers for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't ask Chris Abney what he wants to be when he dies. If you do, make sure you got a beer in hand and not.
I was going to ask it. Now I'm going to ask him. Now, so.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Red Hill Brewery. All right. So we're going to move on down. We're going to go to the Redneck Rave. Oh, y'all. Also, tonight we're going to be talking a lot about Kentucky things. So just be prepared. There's a lot of stuff going on in Kentucky. So nearly 50 people were criminally charged and several others injured after a rowdy 5 days at a Kentucky festival called, quote, the Redneck Rave, where there were reports of drug trafficking, impalement with a log, and a fight over a blanket and a slit throat. The event hosted at a privately owned, get this, Blue Holler off-road park. If nothing says Kentucky, that's it right there. Blue Holler Off-Road Park in Edmondson. If you don't know where that's at, it's really close to Mammoth Cave. It was billed as the America's wildest and craziest country party. Its lineups include concerts, mud pits, and a demolition derby. That's a whole nother thing. The organizer is a country rapper, Justin Time. I'll let that sink in for a minute.
I'm sorry, did you say country rapper?
Country rapper Justin Time.
I need to hear that. I think.
I mean,
I'm just curious. I guess you
sure.
could rap about horses and trucks and beer, right? I mean,
do you remember what was that one?
Kid Rock?
That Billy Ray Cyrus and that other guy did? The cowboy? I don't know.
Well, they've done a lot of rap and country.
Yeah.
It's
not
like
country
it's
anymore.
not country anymore. Yeah.
Those are two genres I don't visit very often. Just
not part of my tribe, are you? The county sheriff Shane Doyle said the attendance ranged anywhere. This is a long stretch, but between 7,000 and 21,000 people. Keep in mind that the Edmondson County only has 12,000 people in the entire county, so it's not a very big one, and all these people just flooded the county. After two friends got into a drunken argument, one man put another man in a headlock and, slit his throat.
what?
The suspect fled the park and is still at large. The victim, though, he survived. Guys, I love these people. A Louisville man was charged with marijuana trafficking, purchasing alcohol, and possessing drug paraphernalia after law enforcement found 5 bags of marijuana, pre-rolled blunts, and a Corona beer, according to the citation.
Well, it's just entrepreneurship there.
Well, yeah. I think they were more concerned about the Corona beer.
Right. It's bad taste.
And a 29, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
And a 29-year-old Missouri man choked his girlfriend during an argument about a blanket until she began to lose consciousness, police said. The man said he only pushed her, but she had scratches and bruises around her neck. Over 30 drug and alcohol-related charges were filed. 48 people were criminally charged for various offenses. 14 were arrested, while others were taken into custody, but yet to still have appeared in court. Okay, so here's the impalement. A tree log went through a man's stomach while he was driving his ATV. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Keep going there. Just don't stop.
Okay. A tree log went through a man's stomach while he was driving his ATV on a trail. The branch, quote, went through the suspension, through the bottom of the floorboard, and impaled the patient through the abdomen and out his back. The woman who he said is his wife called it a, quote, freak accident on Facebook, and he was transported to the hospital quickly. Y'all, this is crazy. Justin Time agreed to the interview from the Courier Journal, but did not hear back from him since Wednesday. So
he gone.
They're going to try to throw another one in October. They're going to throw another one in October.
Wow.
Evidently, this whole thing has been going on for several years, but this year it kind of went off the rails.
Wow.
Slit his throat.
People, stuff got shut down for a year and everyone turned into cavemen. Like civilization completely crumbled from Like people forget how to talk to each other,
Right.
like or resolve conflict.
Right. but let's keep in mind that this one, the strangulation happened over a blanket.
Yeah.
A blanket.
What?
Ooh.
What? I don't know. And the fact that they're doing it again is like, I feel like this is like the Darwin Awards in mass scale or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this, gentlemen. Clear your schedules next June 13th through the 16th, because we are going to this, and we're going to do the show live from the Redneck Rave. Oh yes, we're doing this.
I think I'm on vacation that week.
We're going to get an RV, and we're going to go to the Redneck Rave. East Short can meet us halfway.
Can I wear one of those hats with the beers on both sides and the straw? Like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
A little kiddie pool to put my feet in. Tank top.
What if we're just like the old men of the group, like, get off my yard. Yeah. So, you guys up for it? We're going to make it happen.
No,
that'll be fun.
I'm terrified.
All right. Me and Ryan are going.
Afraid for my life.
That would make the show amazing. Producer Brian is scared for his life.
Yes. Wow. That's insane.
I promise I will not try to slit your throat, strangle you, or impale any one of you with a log. All right?
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, pal.
Yeah. Lee Short says, let's go.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you. He'll do the barbecue. We'll light it up. We'll have a great time. The barbecue, not anything else. I'm not going to do the other devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce,
festival?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
It's only 3 days?
Yeah, it's just 3 days. We can make it happen. All right, so the next thing is the Mountain Eagle. The Mountain Eagle is a newspaper from Litchfield, Kentucky. And if you guys aren't familiar with it, people will just call into this newspaper. They have a answering machine, and people will call in to air their grievances, and then the newspaper just prints it however it comes into the telephone, the voicemail. And so here is a list of some of the best ones from this past week. You guys ready?
Lay it on us.
Yep.
All right, here we go. These people I know were sitting on the front porch and got terroristic threats charges on all of them. They told her that if she called the cops, they would burn her house down. So what is she supposed to do? I think they should do something about those people. Wait, what?
Yeah, what? Terroristic threats?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah. No, it is. Terroristic threats.
Terroristic.
Yeah. Terroristic. Yeah. I guess she said, I'm going to, do some bad things to you. Yeah. Yeah. So all you people out there with garbage piled up all around your house, if you don't have any self-respect, or at least some respect for your children and your grandchildren, they are going to be the ones who are going to have to do something about this nasty world. There you go. They don't like the garbage piled up around their house. Here we go. To a very classy blonde.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Light it up. The next time you go on the walking track to meet one of your lovers from Virginia, remember to put all your clothes back on before he brings you back to the car.
Wow.
Ooh, come on. So many questions. To a certain grouchy old person, you think you are real smart when you give people dirty looks when they go by. Well, guess what? You can't live forever. You can't go around playing like you're an angel when everyone knows you're really a devil.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
They're throwing some shade.
Right?
Yeah.
You remember when old President Trump called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man?
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite things ever. I don't think I'll ever get over that. Dear North Korea, you're in a pretty tight spot, aren't you, fat boy?
That's the whole thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's as far as I could go without laughing.
That was funny though.
How many of your people have died of starvation since you've been in charge? America has been blessed. Kim Jong-un and you have been cursed. So take it or leave it. We ship you rice and you give up your nuclear weapons. Fat boy.
He's in a tight spot.
I think that's a show title right there.
Yeah.
You're in a tight spot, aren't you, fat boy? To a certain person, you and your wife can live in that little fantasy world and pretend you are super smart, but in reality, you're just two dumb hicks. But it's your lie, and you can tell it any dumb way you want and believe what you want. The trouble is nobody else does. I mean, they are feisty this week.
The whole state of Kentucky's like got feisty. That's what
I mean. They're feisty.
All of them.
Well, it doesn't get any better. You don't know the difference between a head or a tail, you imbecile.
Who's that to?
He gets better. And when you put your head up mine, you got the wrong conclusion. You thought you found gold. You didn't, idiot. Wait, what? Y'all, I love you people. I love you so much, you Kentucky folks.
Goodness.
Oh, all right. The point is this: how can you hold your head up in society and you know that your girlfriend of 15 years is lying in a hospital bed while you moved in with another woman? Oh, aren't you just so cool?
Oh, man.
They are rough.
Man.
They are rough. So by that, we will go to the kindness by state.
Yeah, is there like a positive? Can we move in the other direction now?
Yeah, we're going to move to the positive direction.
Wow.
So there was a poll done by, gosh, hold on, I'm trying to pull this up. Why won't it let me pull this up?
Let's see if I can get it up for you here.
Don't
State
say
of
that.
Kindness in America.
I'm getting
Is
it.
Kentucky Sports Radio or somebody else?
Yeah. Well, he tweeted it.
Oh, he tweeted it.
But it was a study that was done of the most kind states. And let me get there. There we go. The kindest states in America. And we've had a lot of folks from Kentucky, and, you know, we've said, you know, what makes Kentucky so great? And a lot of people said, you know, just the people are great around here. And this study, they surveyed thousands of people from all 50 states, and they said, what is the state that you've found the most kind people? So you can look at verizon.com/kindness to take the pledge and perform an act of kindness. The 50 states are this. Number one out of the group, believe it or not, based on the old Mountain Eagle, is Kentucky.
Yeah,
Kentucky is number one.
Someone has not been reading the Mountain Eagle or is aware of the
Fat boy.
redneck rave or whatever.
Right.
You got, you know, throat slit at a concert. And that's the nicest place in the country, guys.
I mean, to be fair, there were people from all over the country at the redneck rave, so it's not just Kentucky.
All right,
people.
it's those.
So there's that.
Florida boys.
So the top five are Kentucky, New Mexico. I can almost see that. Oklahoma, Georgia, and then North Dakota. So,
all right,
those are the top five. You say, well, what could be the least friendly? Massachusetts is 45th. I can see that.
I can say that. Yep.
Here's what surprises me: 46 is Oregon. I would think that Oregonites, besides composting people, would be nice folks. They're chill, but evidently they're not.
Interesting.
I can see 47 at Florida. They're not nice down there.
So North Carolina's 25.
Yeah, we're right in the middle. smack in the middle of the old 50.
And South Carolina's at 28.
At least we're better than South Carolina.
That's right. Don't forget it.
We're better than Virginia.
Arizona is 48th. Here's a weird one. 49th is Kansas. Like, are there that mean people in Kansas? I wouldn't think that there are. And then 50th is Maryland. So weird.
50th is Maryland. Well, Maryland is very adjacent to Washington, D.C. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. And I would think so.
And then, have you ever been to Baltimore? Just saying.
Yeah.
Magic Man, what would you think would be like the worst, the meanest state?
I would say New York, but I've actually been to even New York City, and people have been very nice to me there. So it's real surprising.
Yeah.
You know, I did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of traveling in a previous employer, and I went all over the United States. And the cool thing is by and large, people pretty much everywhere are the same. They may talk a little differently here and there, different accents and different words they use for different things. But, yeah, by and large, most people are really nice, and everybody's pretty much the same. I think there's a little bit more of an edge in urban areas than in more rural areas. But yeah,
I think that's the thing that could skew this list is if you go to if you compare like Georgia as a whole versus Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're going to get, it's going to be different. Or you have state of New York versus New York City. Like when you get out of the city, it's a different place completely.
Yeah.
So that's a factor, I think, in some of this.
You see even that here in North Carolina, you go, places around Charlotte and places around Charlotte are one way, then you go out, an hour any direction from there.
10 miles.
Completely different. And Biggin, I'm sure your wife could attest to this. South Georgia doesn't even claim Atlanta as being part of the state.
No. Yeah. They kick them out.
That's right.
Yeah, I would think like New York would be horrible, but they ended up being 32nd on the list. The other one would be New Jersey. I would think that they'd be horrible. They're 19th on the list. And then California, I thought would be horrible. I mean,
New
they're 40th.
Jersey beat North Carolina in kindness?
I don't think
this is
now that I looked at it. Yeah.
I'm calling shenanigans on this.
So if you are not from any of those states and you want to know where you're at, just go to our show notes. It'll have that information there. And and you could see where your state is listed at. Producer Brian, can you talk about Thigh Stop? You sent that article.
Yes, I can do that. I need to pull it up to talk about it. But so apparently, well, I'm a thigh guy anyway, to be clear. But
careful, it's a family show.
Hey, sorry. Apparently, there's a chicken wing shortage. The bourbon's working. So you've heard of Wingstop? It's the Pizza Hut's wing chain.
Yep.
So they're temporarily rebranding themselves Thigh Stop. So instead of being a wing joint, they're going to be a crispy thigh place with or without sauce. Menu also includes breaded boneless versions of you can get breaded or boneless. Boneless chicken thighs. There you go.
I like it.
Yeah. You get and they're cheaper than wings normally would be. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't read this whole thing yet.
Okay, sorry. So I did
I just
read
saw the headline and a
normally,
picture of thighs. That's I'm for this. So long story short, there's a wing shortage. It's gonna affect the NFL season probably. People are gonna have trouble getting wings, which is a big deal, right? Because who doesn't love wings?
Right.
Right. But I think it's time for dark meat to take over as the supreme meat from the chicken. I love it.
I mean, I always thought like chicken wings, it's a lot of work for a little bit of meat, and I have to eat a lot of those to feel full.
That's the fun part too, I guess.
In the article, and I didn't realize this, a pound of chicken wings, I guess wholesale, was selling at 99 cents a pound pre-COVID. But then after COVID, it went up to $3.50 a pound.
Good night.
That is a huge jump for those. So if you're not going thighs, expect to pay a whole lot more at the old Buffalo Wild Wings or wherever you're going to go. Because I mean,
you get the quantity. Think about, if there's a chicken production shortage, I mean, the wings are the smallest piece on the whole thing. Right. Even though you technically get 4 wings if you separate them.
Right.
From each chicken,
the
right?
Flats and the rounds.
You get your flats and you get your drumettes. So if you could have 4 wings versus 2 chicken thighs, what's going to be like more filling? Right?
Sure.
The thighs for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just think about frying like a deep fried chicken thigh with buffalo sauce on it.
I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah, right.
Ryan, how do you eat a chicken wing, like the flats?
Just gnaw on the meat.
Careful, it's a family show.
I know. Well, I was getting ready to say I'm more of a breast man, so
Yeah, it's a family show. Yeah. How do you
trick
eat
to the flats? If you snap the bone,
tell us about
right.
Yes,
you can. Oh, this is where you were going, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, tell us.
So it's a flat. So there's 2 bones. They're connected. If you kind of pop one end of it, you can put the whole thing in your mouth. You can just suck the whole thing off, all the meat, all the skin. You get a little bit of cartilage sometimes, but it's just one bite. Pull it. It's done. I just don't recommend doing it with the tongue ring. I had a friend who had a problem with that, but it was painful. Let's put it that way.
I learned that little trick by watching Magnum PI, the reboot.
Oh.
He was like, this is how you eat a wing. I was like, that's genius.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I went and got some wings, tried it. I'm like, it works.
It works, yeah.
So, yeah, I had no idea about that. So if nothing else, if you watch this entire show, maybe you learned how to eat a chicken wing.
Yeah, and then you get like all those. If you do it all at one time, I'm not really a dipper. Like I don't really care about the ranch and blue cheese or whatever. I just want whatever flavor I got.
Whatever sauce.
If you can get the whole thing in there, it's one big bite. And it's not as messy.
What's your favorite flavors? Where are we going?
I mean, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to buffalo wings. Give me
just the buffalo
medium
sauce.
I like a little heat. I like to be a little heat, but I love just a good, hot sauce and butter. That's all it is, Okay. And then there's some dry rubs are okay. There's like a mustard sauce. I use like a hot mustard. That's an option. Since we're talking about wings, you're gonna get me started on something here. There's a restaurant chain, not even a chain. There's a couple of restaurants in Pennsylvania near my in-laws called Dino's. It's a sports bar.
Okay.
They have, what's the flavor? It's like this garlic rub with like a sweet, like tangy sauce on it. It's absolutely fantastic. It's like a hot garlic sauce. It hits all the flavor notes at one time. I forget what they call it. But that restaurant's some of the best wings I've had in the whole country. So,
wow.
If you're in Pennsylvania,
cool.
Dino's and
you some.
Latrobe in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Magic Man, what about you?
I like barbecue sauce mostly. So nothing exciting.
Yeah, I like them like really wet and sticky. So like the teriyaki or the honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue's good, yeah.
Yeah. So
also like smoked wings are my favorite probably too.
That's the one thing I'm going to try on the smoker. I found a recipe for that.
Wing, and you cook them longer than you think you need to for a smoked wing. Just say.
Okay.
Well, you want the skin to render.
Yeah.
Fat out.
Yeah. I heard like the trick for that though is baking powder. Is that?
Or just cook them long enough, but that dries them out. There's different ways to do it, but
yeah, I
just 2.5 hours. A lot of times they'll get because they're ready to eat. They're edible after an hour, but the skin's like gooey still, so it's not cooked all the way through. So.
I don't want that.
Yeah, you will get the smoke in there, and you can probably turn the heat up and just crisp them, and then sauce them. and eat them.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely go with crispy. I've never been able to make crispy chicken wings at home. It's never happened. So
there's other tricks to that. Yeah, if you steam them first, you get a lot of the extra fat out, and then you put them like the oven. You can crisp them up pretty good too.
Wow.
Okay.
Producer Brian.
I just need a deep fryer.
I love wings.
You know what flavor I don't like on my wings is tuna. Never been a big fan of chicken wings and tuna. So there was a controversy that just came out with including Subway. A lab looked at, I want to say 4 feet of a Subway tuna sandwich. And they took samples of all 4 feet of it and said, hey, we're going to do some DNA analysis of said tuna sandwich. And then they came back to say there's very little, if any, tuna DNA in a tuna fish sandwich. So either A, there's no tuna in said tuna fish, or B, it's so overprocessed that they can't find any DNA.
Wow.
My question is, who's getting first place? Who's getting a Subway tuna sandwich? What?
Maybe not Subway. I like the Jersey Mike's tuna sandwich. I'll say that.
I'll give you. Yeah.
I don't like Subway anything. Period.
There's the point.
Yeah, their quality went.
Who the hell eats at Subway these days?
I got out of high school. I realized there's better food in the world, and I stopped going to Subway.
Right.
Well, back in the 90s, they were okay, but yeah, like.
Well, I was in high school in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. No, my wife and I, we definitely prefer Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's.
To Subway.
Firehouse. I mean, pick one.
Yeah,
Lenny's.
anything besides Subway. You could give me a 20-foot long Subway for $5 and I'm still not going to get it.
Yeah. And then was this like a 1 4-foot sandwich? Or did they get like one of those, remember the commercials from the 90s? You had like 6 people on a bike with the Subway sandwich.
Right.
Did they order one of those and there was still 4 feet left over, or something?
They're like, hey, let me think. No, they actually got them from different restaurants across the country.
Okay. Oh, and none of them had
tuna
DNA markers.
Right. So it ain't tuna fish. And remember, they got in trouble.
The sea.
But you remember they got in trouble not long ago, I think in 2009. They got in trouble not in trouble, but it came out that they used the same ingredient in their bread that they used in yoga mats. And they're like, that's not good. And then they had Jared.
So you can once the bread gets stale, you can roll on your back with it and get the nuts out.
Use it as a stepping block.
And then they had Jared. I mean, Subway, y'all, these guys take a beating and keep on taking.
Who's surprised by this?
No one. No one is surprised.
Yeah. I think Taco Bell had a similar thing about their meat, but it turned out it was beef. They just drowned it in lard and cumin or something.
Yeah. Y'all, don't go to Subway. Find somewhere better. I'll buy you a sandwich somewhere else.
Go to the grocery store and get a loaf of bread and a pack of meat for $5 and make your own sandwich.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Harris Teeter makes some fantastic sandwiches.
Publix, we got Publix.
Yeah.
Publix. Good gravy. I went to Publix to pick up a sandwich and I was going to get a small one. It was on a Friday. They're like, well, you can get the large for the same price. I'm like, well, that's stupid marketing. It's like our Friday special. I'm like, all right. And I brought it home and Jess and I split one sandwich because it was so massive when we were full. Yeah. I mean, and it was a chicken tender sandwich and the chicken tender was really good.
Listen, have you had the fried chicken?
At Publix?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Come on, right? I mean.
Yeah. It's very good.
I want to say something. It's controversial.
Oh, hot topics. Remember, the views and opinions of Southern Fried Philosophy do not necessarily those reflect of our guests, sponsors, and friends of the show, but they should be. All right, go ahead.
Publix, the grocery store's fried chicken is better than any other commercial fried chicken I've had. From a mass chain place, not like homemade or restaurant that specializes it, but like mass markets, fried chicken. I'm counting like Harris Teeter chicken.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Grocery store chicken, Bojangles, KFC, Popeyes, any
Chick-fil-A.
of them. Chick-fil-A. It's not really, I don't call it a chicken restaurant, but
okay.
Fried chicken,
Churches.
like proper fried chicken. Publix is the best chicken.
It's very good. Magic Man, have you had it?
No, but I think I might be trying to go get some this weekend for sure.
Do it.
It's good. It's very good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The first thing you'll notice when you go into there's a line. Like you got to wait for it because everybody's in there because they know. If you know, you know.
Yeah. If you know, you know. All right. Last but not least, what were some of your favorite movies growing up? Producer Brian, I'm going out on a limb and saying probably Star Wars for you.
I love Star Wars. I love Back to the Future.
Yes, sir.
There's a little gem called Flight of the Navigator I loved.
Wow. I am impressed.
Yeah, I watched it again when Disney Plus came out. Don't do that. It's terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not the same as when you were a kid. I did the same thing.
So bad. But the classics, the one, that to me, I look at them as like they're pop or cultural like touchstones. They kind of defined a generation. Indiana Jones was a big one. I loved those movies. Temple of Doom freaked me out so much as a kid. It's like the heart thing and the monkey brains. The monkey brains, like the. I was like 8 years old or something. Like I don't care about the snakes, but snakes on TV don't bug me. Snakes in my backyard maybe a little bit. But,
Magic Man. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Magic Man. What are some?
Yeah, I like some of the spoof ones. So like like Spaceballs, Airplane. Back then I was too young for the Naked Gun series, but when I got older, that was good stuff. But
Hot Shots. You watch Hot Shots?
Hot Shots. Yep.
Yeah, Part 2.
Part 2. Yeah. And then they had then of course like Star Wars, Indiana Jones. When I was younger, I liked the Muppet movie. That was cool. When I was really little, I think I was 5 or 6 when that came out. So
Muppets.
Yeah.
I really liked Jaws. I don't know why. I really liked that series, but I still like. Guys, I have this weird thing about shark movies. I just love them. I don't care how stupid they are. I love stupid shark movies.
Are you a Discovery Channel Shark Week guy?
No, I like the stupid like B-roll movies.
Sharknado, Sharkpocalypse.
Yeah. They're just like I saw one. It was like Santa Jaws or something like that, where Jaws, like the shark was like killing people on Christmas and wore like
Shark
a hat.
on a plane. Is that one of those?
Yeah.
Yet?
Oh my gosh. I mean, just stupid stuff. Like, I don't know why I like it, but I do. But Jaws was one. Back to the Future was huge and growing up. Like I wanted to be Marty McFly so bad. Even got the jacket and thought I was legit. But I did love Indiana Jones. And so Indiana Jones was kind of my jam. I like that a whole lot. James Bond, I like that. But Indiana Jones 5 has now become delayed. It's supposed to be released in June of 2022, but it's delayed because Harrison Ford injured his shoulder while practicing a fight scene. But guys, Harrison Ford,
he's like 80 or something, right?
He's 78 years old.
Wow, he's older than my parents.
What's he doing in a fight scene?
Right.
I said that because I know they're listening.
78 years old. What is this going to be? Like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Tampax? Like, I don't.
No, Tampax isn't it for old people.
Wait. Maybe I'll just go with diapers.
It depends.
Depends. Yeah, my bad. Now,
you want to say that again? And I can do some creative editing.
Do some editing.
A different movie you're making over there.
Well, evidently, I was making the other movie with the
geriatric something, but jeez, didn't he hurt himself?
I mean, it could be
like on one of the Star Wars movies. He like crashed a plane or something, right?
It was, but it wasn't like in like relation to the movie.
No,
like
it wasn't during the movie, but
crashed
it affected filming or something. No,
yeah,
he didn't hurt himself at work, I guess.
Yeah,
different. Did you watch the Indiana Jones 4?
Yeah, and so I kind of want to bring this up too. Okay. Like the Crystal Skull thing, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
And like, oh, now we're going with aliens. Like that's when they jumped the shark.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, okay,
supernatural.
Guys, you just need to stop.
Before it was like supernatural, like Christian beliefs or similar, with the Ark of the Covenant and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then they totally went uber sci-fi. Like,
yeah, I didn't.
What?
You're like, oh no, this just went sideways. And so I don't think 5 needs to happen. I'm just telling you guys, don't make the 5.
Well,
4,
or do a reboot of do an Indiana Jones. If you want to use, is Shia LaBeouf still in it?
I don't know. Shia LaBeouf. I mean, that dude, he's wackier than
he's
entire.
Crazier. He's pretty crazy. But if you want to reboot Indiana
box
Jones
of Tampax
and do like some either like anthology type things or just something, with the character, you could do something like you could recast. I know it's a bad word, recast Harrison Ford, but you could do some classic style Indiana Jones stuff with a different. Like, look at how many Batmans we've had. Look at how many James Bonds we've had. You could do that exact same thing with Indiana Jones, and then
absolutely,
Star Trek.
But would it be the same if you did a recast?
I think if you treat it like they did with Star Trek, where they basically had similarities from the original series, but then they put a twist of having a different timeline start. I don't know if you can really do that with Indiana Jones, though.
I think more James Bond would be the better analog there, because think about how many guys have been cast in that role.
Yeah,
you had Sean Connery, you had Roger Moore,
Timothy Dalton
from the '80s. Actually didn't know any better and loved those movies. Pierce Brosnan.
I love Pierce Brosnan.
He was great, right?
Yeah.
Then they got the edgy one now, Daniel Craig. It doesn't take away from James Bond as a whole.
Yeah,
I think you bring that history, especially if they don't go, this is a reboot, it's just a different guy playing it and it's timeless.
Yeah.
It's not someone got old, but I don't know.
But can we stop looking for aliens? Like
Please.
That was awful.
Everybody.
I hated that.
Everybody stop looking for aliens.
Speaking of, it's supposed to be released tomorrow. Do you guys hear that?
Is it?
Yep.
US UFOs, it's not aliens. It's not the same thing.
The UABs, whatever that is. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. So UAP. So the Senate, if you guys aren't familiar, you don't know, like the Congress has asked for a report from, I guess, the intelligence community of what these unidentified aerial phenomena are. And they're supposed to come out tomorrow. So we'll see. I have a gut feeling that probably more than likely they're going to say, well, it's not us. It's not aliens. We can't confirm it's aliens, but it's more than likely just some technology that another country has. Is my thought. I don't know if that's. And if it comes out that there's no aliens, are you guys going to believe that?
I don't know if I believe that other countries have technology that the U.S. can't identify.
Yeah, I agree.
See,
I mean, there's some advanced countries out there making some interesting stuff. I don't know about.
Yeah.
It's going to put off a heat signature. I don't know. There's some shared hallucinations. I believe that more than I do another country.
Yeah, but I mean, you can say shared hallucinations, but you were seeing it on film. So,
yeah. I
mean, that's happening. It's true. You can't deny that part. So
it's the Bigfoots. That's what it is. They're an advanced society.
Listen, I know I'm weird, and I love like my Jim Harold campfire stories and I like the ghost stuff and the Bigfoot stuff and whatever, but I'm not completely throwing out there's another dimension out there. I'm not saying that there is. It's like hard to figure out with my Christian beliefs, but there's some weird stuff that we can't identify. And I don't know how to explain stuff.
Yeah. Have you heard, who's that famous astrophysicist? He's like
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That guy, he was on,
Yeah.
I think he was actually on Joe Rogan. That's the only thing I've actually watched on Joe Rogan. He was trying to explain the fourth dimension, like what that would look like to us. It was fascinating. I said it'd be the same as like an ant viewing something in 3D. Think how small an ant is, and you put like a pad of Post-it notes next to them. Like their whole world is this flat surface, right? They're not necessarily noticing. This is an obscure explanation, but to add that extra dimension would be like it's like folding space almost. Like there's doorways and there's like up as there's more stuff that you don't even know exists, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He does a better job explaining than me.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Just saying. Magic Man, what are your thoughts, man? Tell me your thoughts and beliefs on this alien / dimension / stuff that's happening.
I don't know, but I've heard some pretty convincing stories. I haven't had any experiences with aliens myself, but I know people who said they have and swear by it. So,
Yeah.
I'm suddenly imagining the guy. What's the guy from Independence Day?
Will Smith.
Russell. No, the guy Russell. What's his name?
Oh, it's Cousin Eddie.
It's what?
Right? It's Cousin Eddie.
Oh yeah.
Cousin Eddie. Yeah. I forget the
Russell
actor's
K.
name. Russell K.
Randy K.
I'm back.
Yeah.
That's just it just flashed in front of my face.
By the way, do not watch Independence Day 2. That's horrible.
I enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I see?
I mean, yeah. Okay. I can see where you could have some issues with it because it's a classic 90s film and they kind of basically just, even though it was a sequel, and sometimes these sequels don't live up to what the original movie is. Yes. But it was still a decent film. I enjoyed it.
It didn't have Will Smith, so it immediately got an F.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can see why. Yeah.
Who was in it? Did I see that?
It was everybody except for Will Smith.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody except
and the dude that played the president, like he was in he was in like a retirement home or a mental hospital or something, and they brought him out, and like the aliens came back, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil the.
I have not seen this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's on Hulu.
You know what'd be fun?
You can...
Producer Brian, watch it and let us know what you think.
Well, if it's on Hulu, I probably I'm not paying money for it. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
Based on what you guys just said.
Yeah. So I don't know. Also, this isn't on the sheet, but have you guys heard about the NIL law that happened with the Supreme Court? Speaking of court cases and government stuff. I knew this wasn't happening, but I also kind of want to get your thoughts on this. So 6 states passed a law saying that college athletes can get paid for their name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's 6 states. And I think Florida, Alabama, California, Tennessee. There's a couple others. And so the NCAA, which rules all of college athletics, say, well, this is a state law. Our rules for the NCAA says that you can't do that. You can't make money on your name, image, likeness. The college athletes are getting free school, and that should be good enough. Keep in mind that the NCAA is also making billions of dollars on college athletics. So these 6 states said, well, we're going to allow these college athletes to make money. So you can make an ad for a company. You can use your image on like a billboard or something like that and get paid for that. And then, so the NCAA then went to the Supreme Court and said, look, 6 states are saying that you can do this. We need you to say that they can't do that. Mm-hmm. Or we need you to say we're going to make it a level playing field that you can only make X amount of dollars, or like there's got to be some parameters that the Supreme Court has to set.
Yeah.
So the ruling from the NCAA or the Supreme Court said, actually, NCAA, you're in violation of antitrust, and you have a monopoly of college athletes. And starting July 1st, you can't do that anymore. You've got to at least let the college athletes be able to do the same thing that other college students do, which are get jobs, get extra money, do whatever they want in that regards. And so now the NCAA has got to figure out what they're going to do between now and July 1st, which is like next week, to figure out what's going to happen. So college athletics across the board is about to change fundamentally. It will never be the same again, because now students can get paid for their name, image, or likeness. So
I think,
go ahead, Jed.
My understanding was they could be compensated up to a certain dollar amount, like from like the school, like their academics can be paid for, but there can be some competitive things between schools, like for athletes, like for recruiting and stuff. Maybe I read it wrong.
Absolutely.
That's what
it shouldn't be. The NCAA is squat. Like, you can't pay players. That's what so many colleges are getting in trouble for.
You can't. Well, you can pay them like the value of their education or something. There's like a valuation. Like if you go to like Duke versus, like a 2A school, what's the financial? What's fair to be compensated for your education? If they want to pay you to be there, or give it away for free, because it's way more expensive to go to a private school versus some in-state 2A thing,
Right.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's very tight on what they're given. I mean, the NCAA regulates what food that they're allowed to have and when they're allowed to have it. I mean, they're so controlling of these kids. So
do they have Publix fried chicken? That's
probably not. It's probably not on the menu. But it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna fundamentally change. Like right now, so the deal is if your state has not allowed that to happen, so that you can get your name, image, likeness as it's like a state law, then supposedly July 1st, then you can't do it. So Kentucky recently, just today, they did an executive order to allow that to happen. So that got in before July 1st. But then other states, if they don't, they could get fined by the NCAA, I'm guessing at this point. So it's going to be the wild, wild west, I think, at this point for college athletics for this year, at least, until they get their stuff together. But ultimately, at the end of the day, these players should get paid for that. They're bringing in crap ton of money.
Yeah, if you're using their face and their name and you're getting paid, there should be some kind of like royalty or something happening there. Think about like the video games. Like it's with the NCAA 2K. I don't know what number we're up to now. Probably more than 2K, right?
Well, that went away because they couldn't use that. Yeah. So now they can bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. Pay the players if you're going to put his face on the video game or wasn't there a time when there were some college athletes on like Coke was, or was that?
There have been many college athletes that are on Coke.
the drink.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I don't think so. There you go.
That's it. Okay. I don't remember. I don't keep up with this stuff like you do. So
I just think it's interesting that now that they get to get paid. I mean, so at this point, technically, if you have a sponsorship with, what's a card, or like say Bojangles, like say Zion a couple of years ago had a contract with Bojangles, he could be printed everywhere, and like him holding up a Bojangles cup and like get compensated for that. So, I mean, think of the millions of dollars that's going to go to these kids.
And think about like if you're in a state that plays by the NCAA's rules. Like when you are being recruited, you go, if I go to Iowa, I don't have this opportunity. Or if I go to Kentucky or wherever, California, play for USC, I have this other opportunity. Yep. So that's going to change the landscape.
Absolutely. Well. Yeah. So this is going to be really, they've got to figure out what they're going to do, but it's really interesting to watch, like how's this going to play out? Yeah. Magic Man, your thoughts, any opinion on should college athletics or athletes be paid?
No, I don't think they should be paid. Like we said earlier, a lot of times they're getting a free ride to school, so they're already have an advantage, and that's a financial burden that they don't have to worry about, especially after they graduate. It's a sticky situation, and then I like the what producer Brian was saying is that could create some unfair advantages for some state colleges in some states, that will entice people to go to them rather than go to another college that would be just as good for that student, for that athlete, but because they're not showing the money, it's they miss out. So it's a sticky situation for sure.
Yeah. I kind of have a little bit of a different take. I think that they should get paid because either A, they should get paid, or the NCAA should just completely disband, and that nobody makes money on this except the schools. Or one of my thoughts is it could be detrimental. And say you have a school like Kentucky, like the top like basketball schools, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, those big ones, or like an Alabama or Ohio State for football, or Georgia.
Sure.
You have these schools, but if you have such a high number of athletes that could get like big contracts for their endorsements or whatnot, you may have so many in one spot that it may make more sense to go to Ohio, where you don't have as many, and now you're the big fish on campus, and now you're the only one that can get endorsement deals in Ohio or Iowa, versus you got 10 people to pick from Alabama, or you can go to Iowa and you're the main guy, and so you're getting all of that. So I don't know, man. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna change college athletics forever. So it's just an interesting thing.
Oh yeah.
All right, producer Brian, do you have us some wacky news for tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it.
Some wacky news brought to you by Watchman Scars.
All right.
So, there was an artist, actually a few weeks old. I've been sitting on it. An Italian, an Italian artist auctioned off a sculpture for $18,300. Do you know what it was a sculpture of?
Tell me.
Absolutely nothing. It was an invisible sculpture.
And how much was that again auctioned for?
$18,000 and some change. Yeah.
For nothing.
So this article says, from the Department of, they sold that for how much, comes today's story by an Italian artist who, for the cool price, this is 15,000 euros. So did the math for me, thankfully. They recently auctioned off some artwork that was literally nothing. So this artist, 67-year-old Salvatore, I guess, Garu, sold an immaterial sculpture, which is, again, it's not real. He's quoted as saying, "The vacuum is nothing more than a space full of energy. And even if we empty it and there is nothing left, according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, that nothing has a weight. Therefore, it has energy that is condensed and transformed into particles that is into us." I don't know what he was consuming before the article.
The old devil's lettuce. There you go.
Here's the best part. The pre-sale estimate of this was said to be between 6,000 and 9,000 euros. So they someone evaluated this thing that's not real. It's right. It's literally a taped off square. That's it. But competing bidders. Can you even imagine being in the room?
Imagine this
with this piece. It's just tape on the floor. 7,000, 8,000. What?
That
The lucky buyer went home with a certificate of authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah, I did it.
There we go.
And set of instructions. Here's those rules for this invisible piece of work. The work must be exhibited in a private house in a roughly 5 by 5 foot space, free of obstruction. When I decide to exhibit
an immaterial sculpture, you to the world's smallest Mona Lisa.
Right. This guy is absolutely drinking his own Kool-Aid. I just like.
No. He's drinking his own Kool-Aid, and somebody else is drinking his Kool-Aid. Multiple people are drinking his Kool-Aid. How in the world? And then, what do you say about it being insured? Somebody stole it.
Yeah, right. You don't see it, but it exists. It's made of air and spirit.
Right. How do you insure that?
Was there a delivery charge? How many guys had to roll this thing into his house? What?
Could you imagine the moving company? Wait, you want us to move? Wait, that? What?
Oh, what's his worth?
What?
Okay, we're going to charge you, $2,000 to move that.
Right. And then do they go through the process of lifting it up and
imagine that phone call, right? Or they say, hey, we got some art. Okay, what's it? How much does it weigh? Nothing.
I need you to move it.
It has to have a weight. Because if you're even using UPS, you got to put a weight in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you got the minimum charge. What's the dimensions? Go to the UPS store. What are the dimensions on this thing?
Right.
What?
You know what this reminds me of? It's that story of who was it? Somebody duct taped a banana to the wall.
Yes.
Yep.
They called it art.
This is it.
Yeah.
But that makes more sense than this does.
But in that article, my friend, that's not the first time that's happened.
No.
It's happened multiple times where people have sold nothing for, look, I'm an artist. There's a statue. There's one. I can make my own. Y'all.
Right? Yeah. So, this guy's making a killing on absolutely nothing. And we can't get 100 subscribers on YouTube, and we're making a real thing.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
what's wrong here?
Leanne Whitley made a comment on the chat saying that she'll invent the next best style of music. It'll be so great you'll have to imagine it.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Indie people are going to love that.
Oh, yeah. We can have a whole album of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. That's great.
You guys are going to love episode 180. I'm just saying. Just wait. Regan's losing it.
Hey, he hadn't even been drinking.
Oh, that's great. All right, next.
Moving on to something more concrete. So you guys know who Jeff Bezos is?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
He invented a little thing called Amazon.
Yeah, if I would have invested in Amazon, good Lord.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and then he's not the CEO anymore, my understanding.
No.
Or he's stepping down.
He stepped down. Yeah.
Because he's going, he's taking a rocket. He's, speaking of Rocket Man, this is the new Rocket Man.
Yeah.
July 20th, Amazon's founder and billionaire magnate Jeff Bezos and his brother Mark, wonder who's paying for this, will board the New Shepard suborbital rocket system. The Bezos brothers, one auction winner with $28 million to spare, and a fourth person will become the first crew aboard the reusable rocket for its 11-minute voyage to space. Since Bezos made the announcement about his journey to space this month, tens of thousands of people have come together to petition against his return to the planet.
Wow.
There are multiple petitions out there, but the front runner is called "Do Not Allow Jeff Bezos to Return to Earth." has collected more than 33,000 signatures earlier this week. And this is saying billionaires should not exist. I'm not going to get into that. But 33 petitions, guys. I mean, come on. Just because a bunch of people want to sign a piece of paper doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Also, I like to point out that 11 minutes in space is what I like to refer to as my honeymoon.
There you go.
I'm just saying that.
So what are they going to do? Make a delivery to ISS?
What's that? Oh, yeah. This is like an amusement park ride. I mean,
yeah,
it's a very expensive,
right?
Like it's like the drop zone or something, the Carowinds. But
save your money, Jeff. You're gonna need it.
Right? That's a lot of money for a quick thrill.
Yo, rich get richer. Yeah, they're so dumb. They're buying $18,000 of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll sell you something for $18,000.
Right? It makes how about
I mean, I've got a nice little mug over here. I'll sell you that for $1,000. You can have it.
Yeah, I can think of other things you can do with that money.
Right. And then what happens? I can't fathom. So what happens when you like have people over and be like, look at this beautiful art and there's nothing? Like, what are your friends going to think of you? Like, this guy's an idiot.
Well, your good friends are going to laugh in your face.
And call you names.
You did what? You're an idiot.
What?
Yeah, the fake people that are impressed. They're like, oh yeah, this one. I think it looks like a swan riding a wolf, or something.
Here's the weird thing though. Like, so evidently, art is like the last. That's the wild, wild west for taxes. So people who want, at least in the U.S., so they can avoid capital gains. I think with art, I think that's the last thing that's not taxed with capital gains. So somebody buys a $10,000 piece of art now, and then 10 years from now, it's now $100,000. There's no capital gains on that. So, but how do you value nothing? Like, I can see buying art just to avoid capital gains. I totally get that.
That's the U.S. Treasury. They should know.
But then you have nothing. Like, you can't evaluate nothing. There's, I don't know,
Yeah, I mean, that tape on the floor is going to age. I don't know.
All right, sorry, I can't.
Anyway, moving on. So we were talking about some movies earlier.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage is making a new movie. Have you heard about this?
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones 6.
Are you guys familiar with the Taken series with Liam Neeson?
No.
Right.
Oh, okay. In my head, it just plopped up Left Behind series. So
no,
yep.
This is different.
Gotcha.
This is
totally get it.
Very different premise.
Yep.
Yeah, Taken.
Yep.
Family member, someone special gets kidnapped.
Oh Lord, no.
Right. So imagine that. Same premise, Nicolas Cage, but the family member that is taken from him.
Oh no.
Is his truffle pig. Nicolas Cage is a truffle hunter who wants his pig back in, here's the title, Pig, which started production Monday in Oregon.
He's got no.
The script is based on a story about a truffle hunter living alone in the wilderness in Oregon with his beloved foraging pig, just kidnapped.
Oh.
He must journey into Portland in his long abandoned past to recover her.
I hope they didn't make it into compost.
These people are so excited about this.
Oh my gosh. Here's how I want it to end. The last scene, you just see some big boy at a counter, a diner, and he just takes this giant bite of bacon. And then that's the end of the movie.
I tried the pork chops today. So that's happening.
Oh my, y'all, we ain't got nothing better. I mean, make a movie about the stupid man like selling nothing. Do that movie.
Yeah.
Pig, you lost your pig?
Yeah, I mean, truffles are a very lucrative.
I get it. Yeah.
But,
can you not buy another pig?
Anyway,
I love my dog.
That's where we are. We can't get a real Indiana Jones movie, but we can get a pig movie with Nicolas Cage. That's.
Look, I love my dog, but I'm never going to say the phrase to anybody that stole her. It was like, I've got a certain set of skills that you're going to regret. Like, just, okay, you took my dog. Whoops. Yeah. Can you bring her back? No. All right.
Yeah. This reclusive guy's going to go back to or Portland and go, hey, have you seen my pig? You don't see a pig around here? Where's my pig?
And there's going to be like a bunch of pigs because everybody's like all crunchy over there. Yeah. Y'all.
All right, I got. Let's see what's our time.
Right. That it?
I got 2 more quick ones here, guys. And we'll be
all right. Let's go quick.
Police in Lackawanna County on Monday,
Florida,
broke up an exorcism in the lumber aisle at a Home Depot.
Mm-hmm. This is Florida, right?
That's sure. I thought it was Pennsylvania, but maybe it is Florida. I might need to look this up.
I mean, what happened? Did they see the price of lumber?
Dixon, the city's Dixon or something. Anyway, details are scarce on just what was going on inside the Home Depot on Commerce Drive in Dixon City Monday afternoon. But police were called around 3:26 p.m. to escort several people out of the store for, quote, bad behavior. According to reports, the exorcism was being held for the trees that had been turned into lumber.
Y'all.
So 3:26 p.m., disorderly people having an exorcism in the lumber aisle for dead trees. They were escorted out of the building. There's no indication the incident had anything to do with the price of lumber. No charges have been filed. Yeah, I need to see where this was. Where's Lackawanna County? It feels like Florida, right? I was thinking it was somewhere else. Let's take a quick look.
Jesus.
County.
Look, I love you.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
It's in.
I love you and I trust you, Jesus. But honestly, do you see what we're doing here on Earth? Can you come back? Like, this is insane right now.
Come quickly.
I need to get off this planet. Y'all. Exorcism for the trees that have just been turned into lumber. And then they're going to go back to their house.
Okay, this is northeast.
He is so dialed into where this is at.
I'm just curious. I know people in Pennsylvania, so and they're not the ones at this. I can tell you that right now.
Y'all.
Anyway, I don't know enough about Pennsylvania, but this isn't in any of the fun parts of Pennsylvania. That's
okay.
All right. Last one.
Come back, Jesus. Just
Springfield, Missouri. Several people gathered at Park Central Square in downtown Springfield to attend the, quote, Birds Aren't Real rally on Wednesday. According to Peter McIndoe with the Birds Aren't Real movement.
Wait, what's the name again?
His name?
Yeah.
McIndoe, MCINDOE.
Did you say Peter?
Peter. Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
Peter McIndoe. I don't know.
Okay.
With the movement, it's called Birds Aren't Real. All birds in the United States were killed by the government and replaced by federal drones. The evidence is all around us. Birds sit on power lines. We believe they're charging on power lines. I believe that bird poop on cars is liquid tracking apparatus. The movement's currently on tour, and Springfield was its first stop. Yeah.
I wonder how they'd explain birds having hello time in the columns in front of my house and the little baby drones that come from it. How does that work? Do I have some government agency coming and putting baby drones in my?
How about this? What about eggs? How's that still happening then?
Yeah. This last paragraph I didn't read this earlier, but Birds Aren't Real is a movement that relies on internet-fueled guerrilla marketing to spread a silly message. Followers are poking fun at conspiracy theories like QAnon that have gone mainstream over the last few years.
All right, so this isn't real.
This isn't like the flying spaghetti monster.
Thank you, God. So, all right. There's a
Babylon
B. Reprieve.
The Onion.
Let's also, though, there are people that still believe that the earth is flat.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Y'all.
This is right up there with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, anytime now. Be great.
Yep. So that's it for the wacky news this week.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of, I don't know what this is. This is just insane. Get ready for episode 180 because evidently that'll be a doozy. And so thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. And as always, keep looking up because birds are real. You're listening to the SFP Radio Network.